Right, hello. Okay, so today's video is about the law and how it's deceiving people. How did that happen? So I was thinking about this lately, the last few weeks. Okay, right. So the law, what it does, it puts out like lots of laws that people want. You know, basically, kind of probably a small majority of laws that people actually think are good. You know, like that. You know, don't commit murder. You know, don't steal from your neighbour's stuff. You know, so those sort of laws, they all sound like very, very reasonable. You know, and most laws sound very reasonable. You think, right, well, these law people obviously know what they're doing. But then they slip in other laws, you know, when people are not looking, they slip in other laws that are like completely fucked up, you know, totally insane. Like the law against cannabis. It cures cancer. It doesn't kill anybody. It's not harmful. Aspirin is more harmful than cannabis. You know, they have a law in this country where you can only buy 2 packets of aspirin. If you try to beat all paracetamol, if you try to buy more than 2 packets of paracetamol, they'll only let you buy 2 packets because that's a relatively safe amount. You know, you won't quite be able to kill yourself with that many. But with cannabis, they could sell you a kilo of the strongest cannabis and you could consume it all in half an hour and it would not kill you. But if you bought a kilo of aspirin, you wouldn't get through half of it and you'd be dead already. But they still sell aspirin. You can go in, 10 times a day and buy 2 packs of aspirin and just go back, you know, and buy it all, and you could just consume it all or give it to your children or what and kill people. You know, it's extremely dangerous compared to cannabis, and yet cannabis is illegal and aspirins are being sold everywhere. You know, what they do is they con you, that they deceive you in like by making most of the laws all reasonable, right? But they have a few laws that are just like, or quite a lot of laws that are absolutely mad and totally insane and don't make any sense at all. But because most of the laws are reasonable and make sense, most people follow the law and just believe everything that the people that make the laws tell them to believe, which is incredibly stupid. You know, this is how the devil works. The devil takes over anywhere where there's consolidated power, where there's a centralization of power, and he takes over it and starts controlling it and using it to deceive people and control them and enslave them. That's what the devil does. So I'm just repeating myself again. You know, I'm just making another video about all this stuff that I try to talk about a lot. So people are deceived, you know, that's the bottom line. People are deceived. You know, they think because the law is mostly right, then it should be all right all the time. And it doesn't really matter about the few laws that are a bit fucked up. But I would say, no, that's not true. You know, if you've got a plate of food and 90% of it is good quality food, but the other 10% is poison, you know, but you don't know which bits of the poison are the poison, you're best off rejecting the whole plate of food. You know, it's quite simple. You don't need much, even if it's 1% of poison, you know, but you don't know where it is, and it's spread out all around the whole thing. You're still better off rejecting it. You know, you're better off going hungry for a day or two. You know. I mean, just tell me if I'm wrong. That's how people want things to be simple. They expect the law system. If it makes good laws, this is how most people rationalize, right? They think if the law is making good laws most of the time, then we can trust them. What they're not thinking is they're making good laws most of the time so that they can convince you that you can trust them. So that when they put in the laws that are evil and are going to kill people and are monstrously, unfavorable to life itself, it doesn't seem to matter to most people, as long as most of the laws, the thing is, most of those laws, right, that are all right, people, you don't need laws for those sort of things. People think that thing anyway. It's wrong to kill people anyway. If they haven't done anything, to deserve being killed, if they're a serial killer and they go around murdering people all the time, probably the best thing to do is to kill them, because that's the only way you're going to stop them murdering people. But if it's just somebody's a bit like they've had a really difficult childhood and they've got no money and they've stolen a little bit of food from someone that's got loads of food, probably they shouldn't be killed for that. They should just be made to do a little bit of work for that person that they've stolen off of and be fed, but only just enough food so that they cover the 2 or 3 times the cost of what they've stolen, just in case they've stolen stuff before and not been caught for it. And maybe hopefully being trained up to sort of get a job where they can, earn a living for themselves. Yeah, so I mean, I make videos about this all the time, and I kind of get fed up with it. I'm just repeating myself, It's like I've got this sort of conviction, not like a criminal conviction. I mean, a conviction is like a sort of a thought, a persistent thought and belief that we could do a lot better, without the people in charge at the moment. We could have a much nicer environment, a healthier place to live, a much nicer place to live, with less work and more fun. People could live longer, they could be healthier, they could be happier, and it's all pretty straightforward. There's a couple of things. We need to get rid of the people in charge at the moment. They need to, we need to take back all the power that they've taken from us and deceived us out of. But who's going to do that? Most people are so stupid and so fucking demonically stupid that they won't do the right thing. They just won't do the right thing, and there's no explaining it. You can't explain why. I know they understand. They understand, that you can get them to understand, but they still won't go against their gods, their government and the media. They won't go against them. It's like they've been so totally deceived. They're totally deceived. This is one of the reasons I want to have the evil, the evil eye, so I can destroy all these people, because they're so fucking stupid. They're destroying the planet. They've been deceived, and now they're going to destroy everything for everybody. And you can't get them to stop. They just will not stop. No logic will stop them doing what they're doing. They're destroying the planet for everybody. So if it was up to me, I would just destroy them all. You know, the 90% of people that are like just bad people and you just won't do the right thing, and they won't be like, have it explained to them what's going on, and they won't see, they won't put their actions, they won't do the right thing. How can you explain it? You can't even explain it to these people. They're so fucking stupid. You can't explain it to them. They just won't hear what you're saying. They won't look. They won't see what's going on. They won't hear what's going on. You know, they just keep acting like puppets for the devil. That's all they do. They keep paying their taxes to these fucking criminals. They keep supporting these laws. They keep policing the matrix. You know, it doesn't seem like there's anything you can do about them except kill them off. So that's why I want to have the evil eye, so I can just kill them all. You know, and make this world into somewhere that is nice to live. Because we've got all the ingredients to make it somewhere nice to live. But there's too many stupid people that are just creating havoc. They won't wake up. They won't snap out of their deception. What can you do about it? How long are we going to wait for these people to wake up? You know, because as far as I'm concerned, the only way they're going to wake up is when it's too late. You know, they're only going to wake up when it's all too late to wake up. You know, the world is already destroyed, because that's what happens. That's why they have that saying. People don't know what they've got until it's gone. You don't know what you've got until it's gone. You know, so when the world is destroyed and you're all going to die, you know, and you don't know if you're going to heaven or hell, then you'll wish you hadn't fucking ruined the planet. But it'll be too late, because the only way 90% of people are going to wake up is when there's no more food available. You know, then they'll wake up, but then it will be too late. So what we're supposed to do until then, see, the problem is the sensible thing to do is to just make as much money as you can and stash loads of food away and get a little place up in the mountains or something, or underground. Stash all your hidden food away and wait for the apocalypse until there's too many people and they all start eating each other and that, and get loads of guns. And that means going into the matrix, into the sort of system, and working and making it all worse. You know, so there's no way out of it. It's like you can't do anything except to make it worse and to like imminentize the eschaton. You know, make the apocalypse happen quicker. That's all you can really do. What else? What other options? You know, just keep trying to be organic. You know, and like, so that these people can just keep like making laws to sort of like make your life more difficult and stressful, so that you have to sort of sell all your nice organic food to all these fucking monsters. You know, until they've taken up so much land and so much like resources that they just end up like becoming like, when they run out of resources, they'll just see you as the next resource to plunder. You know, so even if you get an organic farm together up in the mountains, they're still going to come and like steal all your food and eat all your fucking food and eat probably you as well. So what can you do? You know, the more I think about it, the more I start thinking that the people that are doing the chemtrails and putting all the poison everywhere into people's food, they're probably doing the best they can, you know, because these people won't wake up. They're not just like normal mad people. They're much worse than that, you know. They're doing everything they can to be reasonable. The problem with trying to deal with people in the Matrix is that they're so fucking reasonable. You know, they've got a reason for doing everything. what I would like to see happen is that people would just agree to die, stop having children, stop trying to sort of like. But then, why would they do that when they see who's going to survive? Who are the lucky people that get to live, and who are the people that have to die? You know. I can't see any answer. I just don't see any answers. People are so fucking dumbed down. The problem, so many problems. I talk about these things all the time. You know, the school system dumbing people down. That seems to me like a really, really fucking stupid thing to do. Whoever's put it in practice, like, it's not a clever idea, because it makes everyone stupid. And only half are stupid. There's still going to be some intelligent people. You can't get rid of intelligence. There's still going to be some intelligent people, but most people are stupid. That means that we're destroying the planet, and you can't even explain to people why it's a bad thing, because they can't understand you, because they've been dumbed down. You know, I just hope that the people responsible get to pay for their responsibility. They get the punishment for being wrong. You know, that's what I hope. You know, I hope the people responsible for all the shit we're in get the punishment that's due to them for causing all the problems that they've caused. That's all I can really hope for. I mean, and beyond that, you know, there are ways to put things right. You know, we've got a technology that can help sort the world out and put it back into a good place. You know, so people can live in harmony and be happy and stuff. And I'd like to see that happen. You know, people have been working at this. You know, making zoos, caches of. Like seeds stored away. You know, we could make the world into a good place again, in theory, but it would take a lot of understanding, a lot of like discipline and change, a lot of change. One good thing is that people are already starting to do this. You know, the ball's starting to roll in the right direction. So. But there's still a lot of like kind of really brain dead religious people who are still having loads and loads of children, and there's almost no way of stopping them. No normal sort of like acceptable way of stopping them anyway. You know, they're just like insane monsters that are just creating more and more problems in the world. They're eating the wrong sort of food. They're propping up all these like evil multinational companies that are like controlling the governments and making people live stupidly. It's all one great big hydra. We need to chop off all of its heads all at once. You know, the banking system, the governments, the politicians, the medical establishment, the school system, you know, all this kind of thing. It all needs to go. I mean, we can do it because people aren't, you know, are mainly quite intelligent, you know, and they know what they want. What they don't want is like being lied to. Well, I mean, do they want to be lied to? I don't know. This is another thing. It becomes really hard to understand because there's so many people that are fucking determined to be stupid, and they love it. They're addicted to it. It's like a drug. It is literally a drug. Being ignorant is like a drug. It is a drug. You know, your brain creates like endorphins, like heroin. Drugs similar to heroin to make you enjoy being ignorant. You know, and to get like a kick out of it and to sort of be addicted to it. You know, I find this kind of stuff quite depressing. It's really, you know, I talk about it, although it's depressing. I try to make my channel a bit more uplifting for people, but at the end of the day, what we're dealing with is really fucking depressing. And you know, that's the hard line. That's the hard fucking truth at the end of the day. What we're dealing with is really depressing. These people are destroying our home, and it's most people, and you can't even stop them doing it. There's no, you can't use logic on them. They just don't respond to logic. You know, if for example, if you try to explain to people that, you know, if you come home after your work and there's all these people smashing down your house, you'd be angry, right? Well, yeah, most people would be angry. They would be like fucking really pissed off, and they'd see all their possessions being destroyed. They would want to stop it. So if all these people are destroying the whole world, I mean, at least if they're destroying your home, you can go and find another home in theory. If they're destroying the whole planet, how can you go and find another home? I mean, maybe I'm simple-minded. You know, I know there's people, I've tried talking to them, that will say, oh, but we're going to go to a new world, like in a heaven, you know, in an energy world, you know, an astral world or something, and it's all going to be like paradise. And I'm thinking, well, how do you fucking know that? And they just go, oh, you just need to know. If you don't know, you're just one of the simple-minded folk. You know, I've heard it before. I've heard people say this sort of stuff before, and eventually they admitted they're wrong. It was on a sort of lesser level. But I'm just thinking, these are the same people that are controlling the world. They want to destroy everything to sort of somehow prove that when it's all destroyed, we'll all go to paradise. But I'm not at all convinced. How the fuck do they know that? You know, how the fuck do they know it? I don't think they really know what they're doing, you know, and they're just sort of guessing. It's all guesswork, and it's most likely that they are being controlled by evil spirits that want to destroy this world. You know, to put us in an even worse place, in an even worse position where there's no physical reality, and we're stuck in a nightmare, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're like in an endless sort of prison with no escape. That's what they want to do. That's what it seems to me, anyway. How can we know any different? You know, if we let them get their way, they could be wrong, and we could be like totally like fucked. Whereas at least now we've got a chance to put things right. We could get them things as good as they could possibly be. You know, by having a paradise on earth. You know, where we've all got what we want. We will have a good life and a long life and enjoy it and all and that, and we become spiritually enlightened, and that's what I can see happening, and that's all I can really know. These people that say that there's some sort of better world when we destroy this world, well, it just, to me, it sends alarm bells ringing. I don't see how we can know whether they're right or not. It seems like a bit of a huge fucking risk. You know, it's like just gambling on a real long shot. You know, that's almost certainly not going to win. That's what it seems like to me. Okay, thanks for watching. Thumb up all of my videos if you can. And let me know that you thumbed them up. I'll go and thumb up all your videos, because we little guys got to stick together, right? Okay, thanks for watching.